Good day to you, learners. You are all welcome to today's discussion on environmental health. My colleague has taken you through study section 1 to study section 4, and we have been able to discuss the introduction to environmental health, components of environmental health, then principles of environmental health for nursing practice, and you have been able to discuss water pollution and water purification. Right. So today we will be looking at man and his physical environment, that is study section 5. My name is Ms. Oyedeji from the Department of Nursing Science. Okay. So what are the things you are expected to know in this session? In this session, you are expected to define environment. At the end of this session, you should be able to enumerate the major components of environment. You should be able to highlight and explain the elements of environment. Then, you should be able to discuss the importance of environmental health studies. Then, lastly, you should be able to discuss the changes in our environment. So, by the way of introduction, man cannot be separated from his environment, and man's consciousness is inextricably linked with his surroundings, being it physical or social. And our environment is the representative of physical components of the earth, wherein man is an important factor affecting the environment. So man is one of the important factors in the environment. Okay. And you know our environment is a physical component of the earth. In environment we have landform, rocks, water bodies and the like. So talking about the definition of environment, it can be defined as the sum total of all the external forces, influences and conditions which affect the life, nature. It affects our behavior, the way we behave, the way we relate with people. The environment also affects the growth and development of human being. So I also have another definition of environment here that says environment implies to all external components which can be living or non-living factors which surround man. So in our environment, we have external components such as living things or non-living things, and all those things surrounds man. Okay. Now, what are the major components of um um physical environment? The topic for this session is man and its physical environment. So there are four major components of physical environments, which are, we have water bodies, we have natural vegetation, we have landforms and rocks. So the major components of physical components, they interact with each other in order to create the environments in which living organisms exist. So now, what are the scopes of environments? The scope of environments has been changing, it has been widening by the passage of time. And in the primitive age, the environment consisted of only the physical aspects of plant earth, the land, the water as biological communities. And you know, the environment consists of four segments, which are the atmosphere, that is the gas, the hydrosphere, that is the liquid, then lithosphere, which means solid. Then lastly, we have biosphere. Talking about biosphere, it's just the global ecosystem, and it's made up of living organism, that is biota, and the non-living uh, organism, that is abiotic. So and it provides them with energy and nutrients. And this biosphere is a narrow zone, okay, on the surface of the earth, where the where the um where the where the soil, water, and air to combines, okay, to sustain life. What I meant by biosphere is that biosphere is just like a global ecosystem, and it's made up of living organisms, that is the biota, and the non-living, um that is the abiotic factors, and all this provides them with energy and nutrients. And talking about the biosphere, it is a narrow zone. When we talk about narrow zone, it's about the surface of the earth, where we have soil, where we have water, and air. So they combine together to sustain life. Okay. Now, what are the importance of environmental studies? Why do we study environmental health? Environmental studies is crucial to human health, and it play a crucial role in addressing global challenges and promoting sustainable practices. And it can also be understood in various perspectives. But before we do that, you know, I would like to shed more light on importance of environmental studies. Talking about the importance of environmental studies, it provides a comprehensive understanding of our natural world, including the ecosystem, the diversity, and other independence of living organisms. So the knowledge of environmental studies is essential, in order for us to make an informed decisions about the use of natural resources, about the management of natural resources. So it is important for you as a nurse to know the importance of environmental studies, so that you will know how to relate with your patient, you know how the environment we live interacts, how we interact with our environment, and how the natural resources in the environment also affect patient lives, okay, or human lives. So now we shall be taking the perspective one after the other, talking about the understanding the environment, the ecosystem, earth and biodiversity, talking about the resource management, the climate change, mitigation and adaptation, talking about pollution, prevention and control, talking about the environmental policy and regulation, how do we sustain our how do we have a sustainable um environment, then talking about the public awareness and education, global cooperation regarding the environmental studies, then human habits in the environment. So shall be taking this one after the other. So the importance of environmental studies, talking about the understanding the our environment. So it's about the that environmental study is a field of study that it gives a thorough understanding of the environment. When you understand the environment, you know the ecosystem, the variety of life, how living organisms depend on each other. So this knowledge of the environment is so important, like I said before earlier, that it's so important for making well informed decisions about how we make use of the natural resources and how we take care of them. If you don't take care of natural resources, the whole thing will wipe off. Okay. So number two is ecosystem, earth and diversity. When you understand the environment, it helps in assessing the health of the ecosystem, and also the factors contributing to diversity, and they are crucial for what? Conservation efforts. Now the third one is resource management. When we talk about resource management, environmental studies contribute to the sustainable resource management, by examining the availability and sustainable actualization or utilization of natural resources in order to help to develop strategies for responsible use. Okay, and um another one is climate change. So another one is climate change. Talking about climate change, the this is where we talk about the mitigation and adaptation of to climate change, and research in the environmental studies has helped us to understand the climate change, you know, the causes of climate change and the impacts on our earth. So it also helps us to develop the mitigating strategies and also plan for adaptation to changing environmental conditions. Then another point under the impact of environment is pollution prevention and control. In our environment, we have built environment due to the human activities in the environment. So there are a lot of pollutions, being it air pollution, uh, oil pollution, noise pollution, and the like. So environmental studies also focus on identifying the factors causing pollution in the environment. Then it also helps to focus on monitoring and controlling of pollution in order to minimize negative impacts on the environment as well as human health. Okay, so another one is um environmental um policy and regulation. So talking about the environmental policy and regulation, this is where um environmental studies focus on, it's focus on studies that contribute to development of policies and regulations which are aimed at protecting the environment and also governing the the way we use the resources, the way we control the pollution, and and conservation of effort. So and another one is sustainable development. Having the understanding of environmental studies, it will help to promote the concepts of sustainable development, considering the economic, considering the social and environmental factors in decision making. Now, the next one is uh, public awareness and education. You know, the knowledge of having the understanding of environmental studies has really raised a lot of public awareness and about the environmental issues, just like um these weather forecasts. When you have the knowledge of environmental studies, you will know, you would have aware of the weather condition for tomorrow, tonight, or next tomorrow. So you have a clear picture of what the the weather will look like. So and a lot of people, as the highlights, they are now having the knowledge of um environmental issues. May you may have the the forecast like, oh, rain will fall in the next 4 days, so you would have prepared your mind or your environment in order to prevent erosion or flooding. So it also empowers individuals to make choices for sustainable living. For instance, if you know that rain will fall in the next few days, you would have prepared your garden, your anything that will contribute to sustainable environment. Do you understand? So you'll have prepared all those things, and it will will also help um the environment, okay, and the people living there. Then another one is global cooperation. Talking about global cooperation, it involve international collaboration in environmental studies, and it facilitates sharing knowledge, sharing technologies and resources in order to address global environmental changes. Just like what is going on presently in in Turkey and other countries where they have environmental challenges. So, when there is collaboration, you know, you share knowledge with one another. Then you share technology that can be used in order to ameliorate the effects of environmental changes on people's health. Okay. And another one is human health. Talking about human health, um environmental studies also examine the link, between the environment and human health, and we can't even do away with environments. They always work together. Our environment can influence our health. The environment we are now, being it physical, being it social, being it biological, really have impact on our health. And when we have the knowledge of environmental health, you know, or environmental studies, it will help us to develop strategies to prevent and to address health issues relating to environmental factors. For instance, you know that if you are living in a very dirty environment, that the people living in that environment, they are predisposed to infections and the like. So would have taken appropriate measures or develop appropriate measures to combat or to prevent the environmental issues or environmental problems. Okay, for instance, now we know that during the rainy season there are some areas that do have flooding. So we would have prepared ahead. So those are the importance of environmental studies. So they are 10. Kindly master those points. And another one is impact of environmental health. How do impact of environment? How do our environment impact us as a man? You know, man is responsible for both physical and chemical changes in the environment, which and you know that it has direct biological effects on man. Okay, so there are some changes in the environment that can impact uh, our our environment where we live. Okay, there are, I think I have five here. You know, stratospheric ozone depletion. When we talk about stratospheric ozone depletion, it refers to the reduction in the concentration of ozone molecules in the stratosphere, particularly in the ozone layer. And the ozone layer is a region. I hope you all know this. It's a region of the Earth's stratosphere where ozone molecules are more concentrated. So, playing a crucial role in protecting life on Earth, by absorbing the majority of the sun's harmful ultraviolet radiation. So the primary cause of stratospheric ozone depletion is what? Is the release of certain human-made substances such as also known as ozone depletion substances. We call it ODS. So the most significant contributors to ozone layer depletion are chlorofluorocarbons, that is CFCs, halogens, carbons, tetrachloride, and methylchloroform. So talking about this stratospheric ozone layer, it means that there is depletion, there is reduction in the concentration of the molecule in the stratosphere. Okay, so and another one is climate change. Climate change. So talking about the climate change, it's often associated with global phenomena like raising temperature, sea level changes, and increase of frequency of extreme weather or weather events. And it is largely influenced by human activities such as greenhouse gas emission. So this climate change refers to long time alteration in the earth's climate pattern, and it includes shifts in temperature, precipitation, and weather condition. Now, the second impact is acid rain or acidic rain. Talking about the acid rain is also an environmental issues that leads to the acidification of soil and water or water bodies, and it can negatively impact the ecosystem, the aquatic life, and vegetation. So it's as a result of the deposition of the acid pollutants. There are a lot of pollutants in the environment. So this one is as a result of deposition of the acid pollutants in the atmosphere. And primarily it's sulfur dioxide and nitrogen oxide. So they combine with the atmospheric moisture to form acidic rain. Do you understand that? Okay. Now the next one is um thermal pollution of water bodies. Talking about the thermal pollution of water body, it occurs when the water temperature becomes elevated, and it can disrupt the aquatic ecosystem. It will also affect the fish habitats, the reducing dissolved oxygen levels, and there will be increasing in susceptibility to diseases. So thermal pollution occurs when human activities such as the industrial discharges or power plants cooling, when it's release heat water into the natural bodies or natural water bodies. And the next one is construction of large engineering works. This has really impacted our environment. Talking about the construction of large engineering works, it involves the development of major infrastructural projects such as building of dams, building of highways, urban when we have a urban expansion. While contributing to the economic development, these projects can have environmental impacts, and it include habitats. It may cause, in a place where we build dam, where we have highways and urban expansion, it may have uh, it may destruct the habitat. We call it habitat destruction, or there may be alteration in natural landscape. There may be destruction of the ecosystem. So it require careful planning and mitigation measures in order to minimize these adverse effects. Now the next one is human activities in the environment. There are a lot of human activities in our environment that that pose a negative or positive effect on the ecosystem or on our overall health. So human activities in the environment encompass a wide range of actions. Our behavior, you know, there's a way we interact in the environment, be it physical, social, or biological. These our action matters a lot. Our behavior in the environment matters a lot, and it can impact the natural world both negatively or positively. So, talking about inadequate waste management in the environment can lead to pollution, it can lead to environmental degradation, it can lead to threats to human health or human's life. So there are a lot of activities, and all these harmful emission or pollutants like sulfur dioxide, carbon monoxide, or acidic rain, all this global warming, ozone layer depletion, um and all the malfunctioning of human hemoglobin. They are activities, they are human activities. We have built our own environment that can impact our environment negatively. So the following are the human activity in the environment that can impact our um environment, both positively and negatively. So we have resource extraction. We have resource extraction. We have resource extraction. Talking about resource extraction, it involve human extracts various natural resources, including minerals, fossil fuels, timber, and water. You know, for 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 energy manufacturing and construction. Then we have over exploitation of these resources can lead to habitat destruction. It can lead to erosion and depletion of non-renewable resources. So that is resource extraction. Another one is industrial and manufacturing processes. Then these two activities, release pollutants into the air. And when the when these pollutants are being released into the air and water, okay, the factories that emit greenhouse gases, that is the all this particulate matter and the toxic substances, can contribute to air pollution, and it can contribute to water pollution, and it can also contaminate our soil or get our soil contaminated. Another human activity is agriculture. Talking about agriculture, agricultural practices involve the cultivation of crops and the raising of live stocks, like rearing of animal, planting. So while essential for food production, agriculture is essential for food production. It can also lead to deforestation, deforestation like cutting of trees, water pollution from fertilizers, from pesticides, and soil degradation due to improper land management. So that is how the that is one of the human activities in the environment, agriculture. Now, another activities is urbanization and infrastructural development. You know, urban expansion and the construction of infrastructure such as road, such as building and dams may also alter the landscape and the ecosystem, and this can result in habitat loss. It can result in fragmentation and changes in our natural um drainage patterns. And one of the human activities is also waste generation and disposal. When we talk about waste generation and disposal, human activity generates amount of vast amounts of waste, including municipal solid waste, industrial waste, electronic waste. Think of all sorts of waste. So inadequate management of this waste can lead to pollution, it can lead to environmental degradation, and it can lead to threats to human health. And another one is air and water pollution as one of the activities in the environment. So air and emission from vehicles is what is air pollution, including industrial processes and other sources uh may contribute to air pollution in our environment. We have discussed this earlier, and it will affect the air quality and human health. When the air is being polluted, the air we inhale will also be polluted. So it will affect the quality of air we breathe in. Okay, and directly or indirectly, it will affect our health. So improper disposal of pollutants into water bodies can also lead to water pollution. It can also harm the aquatic ecosystem. It may pose risk to human and animal health. So that is why it's important for us to take care of our environment. And another one is deforestation. Clearing forests for agriculture, logging and urban development may result in deforestation, and this process produces biodiversity. It may also disrupt our ecosystem and contribute to climate change. So through the release of stored carbon. So deforestation, it means clearing of forest for agriculture, it means logging and urban development, and it results in what? Deforestation. So and it's this process reduces biodiversity. And another human activities is climate change. Human activities, particularly in the burning of fossils, forests, deforestation, industrial processes, it release greenhouse gases into the atmosphere, and it's now it will contribute to the global warming, and also there will be climate change when it contributes to global warming. There is going to be climate change, and it will lead to rising temperatures, um then sea level changes and alteration in weather pattern. It will affect. That is why we feel the sun beating us rather, and when it affects women, it also affects the aquatic life. So um those are the human activities in the environment. Then we have overgazing and overcropping of arable lands. When you are talking about overgazing, it occurs when the livestock gaze on grasslands beyond their sustainable capacity, and it can lead to soil erosion, it can lead to degradation, it can lead to loss of vegetation. And talking about overcropping, it involves intensive cultivation of crops without proper rotation or conservation practice. So the depletion of soil nutrients and reduction in agricultural productivity will set in. So both activities may contribute to soil degradation and negatively impact the ecosystem. And if it impacts the ecosystem, it usually affects human health. Now, so then another one is stream mining, and this is also known as an open mining. It involves the removal of large quantities of soil and rock in order to extract the valuable minerals or resources. And this process results in significant habitat destruction. There may be alteration to the landscapes and destruction of the ecosystem. So the exposed soil can also be prone to erosion, and there may be turn off not there may be turn off to contaminate nearby water bodies, and it will cause water pollution and also habitat degradation. Look at mining what happened in Ibadan recently. I think it's a miners took a substance home. What's the name of the substance? um So where a miner took dynamite home, and see how see what happened in Ibadan. There was an explosion, and it damages all the houses, the aquatic life, human life, and the like. So it's so important to take care of our environment to ensure that human activities doesn't have negative effects on the environment or on our overall health. Now, let's quickly talk about the land land degradation. What is land degradation? It refers to the deterioration of the quality and productivity of the land resulting from human activities, climatic variation, or combination of both. And it encompasses various processes that negatively impact the land's ability to support vegetation, to support human activities and wildlife. So there are some key aspects of land degradation. The first one is soil erosion. We have partly said something on this, and it's a major contributor to land degradation, and it occurs when topsoil, which is crucial for plant growth, is eroded by water or wind. So we have causes of land degradation. We have deforestation, overgrazing. We have said something about this, poor agricultural practices, and urbanization and industrialization, mining activities, climate change, desertification. So those are the causes of land degradation. So now, what are the components of environment? Um there are four components of environment. We have the physical environment, biological environment, chemical environment, and social environment. Talking about the physical environment, you know, it consists of the non-living things, that is the abiotic part of the environment, which include water, air, soil, waste, housing, noise, radiation, temperature, um, um, atmospheric variation. So those are the physical components of the environment. And all these things, like you can't do without water. So woman cannot do without water. So they are so essential in the environment. Another one is um biological components of the environment. They are mainly living things. And when we talk about biology, they are living things. So under that, we have plants and animals, we have bacteria, viruses, insects, and rodents. And talking about this, it consists of producer, the consumer, and the composer. So talking about the producer, it includes majorly the green plants and other photosynthetic bacteria which synthesizes various organic substances such as carbohydrates, proteins, and with the aid of water, soil, and light energy. So another one is consumers. It's relying on green plants for their nutrition. So, and this green plants produces organic food materials, decomposer, and they are responsible for, to decompose dead plants and animals and to eat various important materials for the running of natural cycles. So that is consumer. Then talking about the composer, they are also responsible for, to decompose dead plants, animal, and use various important minerals for the running of the natural cycle. So the third one is um chemical components of the environment. Talking about the chemical components of the environment, they are, you know, they they it involves gases such as sulfur dioxide, solid um such as radioactive substances, and it also include liquid and oil. So later on we'll be discussing the impact of these on our health in our next study session. And another one is social components of the environment. You know, Social components of the environment plays an important role in determining the mental health of a man, and also condition that affects a man as a member of the social of a society. And components of the talking about the social components, it involves our culture, our custom, our belief, attitude, the educational system, the religion, the occupation, and the income. So, you know, woman is the most independent and intelligent living organism in the environment. So just like the other living creature on earth, man constructs houses, we prepare food, we deliver waste material to the environment. And it has been said that it has been said about man by one philosopher that woman is a social animal. So we prepare various laws, we prepare policy for proper functioning of our society. So it is so important that man relates well in the environment. You know, when we talk about the social components, we bring in our culture, we bring in our beliefs, our attitude. Then how does this thing affect or have effect or determine the health of our patients? All these things, they are determinants of woman's health. Okay. So now let's move to elements of environment. We have physical elements, we have biological elements, and cultural element, just like what we have discussed. When we talk about physical element, it talks about space, water bodies, climate, landforms, rocks, and the likes. So, and they determine the character of human habits. Then it also determines our um um it talks about the opportunity as well as limitation of woman in the environment. So talking about the biological elements such as plants, microorganism, you know, so we have discussed this earlier, the same thing as the cultural elements. Now, what are the types of environments? There are two major types of environments. We have natural environments and man-made environments. Talking about the natural environments, it comprises all living and non-living things, that occur naturally on Earth or as part of it. And then talking about the man-made environment, it is it's heavily influenced by man. We call it man-made environment. It means that man is the one influencing it, and it include the physical structures where people live and where we work, such as homes, offices, schools, farms, factories, as well as communities, such as road and transportation. So that is a man-made environment. So this has brought us to the end of this class. In summary, we have been able to discuss human man and its physical environments. There are we talked about the forms of types of environments, the the um the physical environment, what it entails. So we have been able to discuss elements of the environment and components of environments. We said we have social components, biological components, chemical components, and physical components. We have been able to discuss the land degradation, the causes of land degradation, the mining activities, the poor agricultural practice, climate change, and the like deforestations. And we also talk about human activities in the environment that can impact the health of woman or the ecosystem negatively, both negatively and positively. We have been able to discuss that. We made mention of what acid rain, climatic change, what it's all about. That is the examples of changes we have in our environment. We have stratospheric ozone depletion, and I said it refers to the reduction in the concentration of the ozone molecule in the stratosphere. And we talk about climate change, acidic rain. Okay, we talk about thermal pollution of water bodies and construction of large engineering works. And then we also talked about the importance of environmental studies. Why it's important for us to know our environment. We must understand what environment is. We must understand what ecosystem earth and biodiversity means, how we can manage our environment, how we can mitigate and adapt to climate change, how we can encourage public awareness and education on environment, then global cooperation, and then human health. So those are the importance of environmental studies. Then also talk about the scope, the major components, then we were able to define environment as all external components which can be living or non-living factors which surround me. Thank you so much for listening. I wish you happy viewing. Bye. See you some other time.